Hi, welcome to More Than Hair with Latrice. I am Latrice, also known to you all as Miss Lala, and today I'm going to share with you all my top 5 tips for growing long, healthy Afro textured hair, including one tip that I've never, ever, ever shared before with you guys online, only in my in-person workshops. So I'm going to start with number 5 and work my way up. Okay, so number 5 for me was reducing my heat use. I was using heat maybe monthly before I decided to grow my hair out long, and I pretty much cut that out, especially the blow dryer. I feel like the blow dryer is probably one of the worst things you can use on your hair if you're trying to grow it out. For me, it wasn't good for my hair. I felt like I want to say it was drying it out. It makes you more likely to break your hair, just the manipulation with it. Now, some people blow dry from a distance, or I just find that didn't work well for me. Instead, I started air drying my hair. And even now when I use heat, sometimes, occasionally I blow dry, but I still prefer to air dry when I can and when I have time. So if you can drop the blow dryer, if you are using a blow dryer, I would strongly suggest it. If you insist on continuing to use heat, I think you can still grow your hair long and use heat, but you have to buy good quality tools, ionic technology. Make sure you are using a good quality heat protectant as well. And I do feel like, at least for me, all I can say is that I feel like the amount of length I was able to retain was much less when I was using heat than when I stopped to using it. I was only using it maybe 3 times a year when I was trying to grow my hair out to straighten it and length check. And that was pretty much it. So reduce your heat use if that's something that you're doing. You all probably have heard this just beaten into your brain. I don't know how many times if you're not new to the hair community. But I found that protective styling really did work for me. And not just protective styling in general. Uh, because had been wearing twists for years and still was stuck at the same length. But what I personally started doing was putting my hair in larger twists and then pinning them up so that it wasn't rubbing against my shoulders or anything else. So particularly for those ladies, whether you're natural, relaxed, or somewhere in between, if you're wearing your hair loose often and it's rubbing up against your shoulders, it makes it more likely for your hair to break. Once your hair is a little longer, you still do have that friction, but it's not directly on the ends quite as much, and I think it's less likely um, to break. So if you're trying to grow, we're not talking about maintaining, like grow length, I would strongly suggest you give protective styling a try. Now, I would suggest you go out and get those really super duper tight, braids that are pulling your brains out. I think that kind of defeats the purpose because then you're going to end up with raggedy edges. So, you may do things like roller sets if your hair is shorter so that when it's curled, it's not rubbing, or loose bun. If you're going to do a bun, be gentle with your edges. Twists are my personal favorite, so there are different options out there, but for me, protective styling work. Okay, number 3 was I had to adjust how I was combing my hair. I see so many ladies get the combing up, oh my gosh, it just makes me cringe, and you can literally hear the hair breaking. Just stop. There's no need to rake through your hair like that. I know our hair looks tough, but it's really quite fragile, and you need to be more gentle with your hair. So taking your time and combing it gently, working your way from the ends up. I have a whole section on my site about combing if you want to read that. And in addition, oops, sorry if you hear the baby in the background. But in addition to combing more gently, I personally invested in seamless combs. They're not cheap, okay? I think I spent maybe 20 something bucks on a comb, but I've had the same comb, you guys, for maybe 9 years now. So it was worth the investment. It's one of the few combs that I didn't break on my hair because I have broken some combs in my lifetime. In addition to that, it does not snag your hair. Most combs have little seams in between that snag and rip and can pull on your hair. So I would strongly suggest you investing in some seamless combs if you're able to, if you're serious about growing your hair out. If you cannot, there's a really good comb by I think it's Goody. I'll put the link because I have a article on my site about good combs to use. But that comb is actually pretty good as well. It does have seams, but you can't really feel them, and I find it doesn't snag. That's the comb usually I take with me when I'm traveling and things like that. And that one is maybe like $5-6. So, that's a good alternative. It's the seamless comb though, you guys, I love it. One of the best investments I've made in my hair. So if you're serious about growing your hair out, I think it's worth the investment because it's lasted me for years and years and years. Okay, number 2, and this was a big, big, big game changer for me, was regular deep conditioning, not sporadic. A lot of us like to deep condition whenever, but even now that I'm in maintenance mode, I deep condition my hair after every, and I mean every wash, unless, I'm just like out of it or there's some extenuating circumstances why I can't. I deep condition my hair after every wash. I think if you really want to turn your hair around, deep conditioning can really, really make a difference. And for me, I focused on using moisturizing deep conditioners. Now, if your hair is damaged, you may need to get something that's more restorative. And I'll put a link down below also because that's a whole video in and of itself on the different types of deep conditioners you can choose. But I personally, while I was in the process of growing it, focused on moisturizing ones. If your hair is really damaged, you may need to do some things to help repair your hair first. So you're seeing a whole lot of breakage, you may need to focus on something to repair your hair. Otherwise, especially for my naturals, I would encourage you to use moisturizing deep conditioner. And number 1, and this is my not so secret tip that I never really share because I know it's something that you kind of told not to do if you've been in the hair world for any length of time. And that's moisture, moisture, moisture. And I mean moisture to the point where I would keep my hair in a state where it was overbalanced on the moisture side. Articles you read about hair, and they're right in this, to prevent breakage, you want to keep your hair balanced between, to put it easily, being moisturized and strong, between moisture and protein-based products. And I can't go deep into that right now, but I'll link to that, link to that also. But what I did was kept my hair in a place where it was slightly over moisturized when I was trying to grow it out. And you can tell when your hair is slightly moisturized because it's like you pull it and it's kind of almost mushy and stringy and stretches really, 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 really easy. My hair isn't like that now. And so, but I was doing it on purpose. And so I would use a good moisturizing deep conditioner, leave it on my hair extra long. Then I would apply my moisturizing leave-in conditioner. Then I would use moisturizer daily. My hair was basically in a state of always being slightly overly moisturized, and I would even use oils to help hold in the moisture during the week. Now, why did I do this? I found that if I combed gently and kept my hair in that overly moisturized state, that it just broke a lot less. And I was keeping my hair pinned up all the time. So I'm going to be honest with you all. It's hard for your hair to hold styles when it's in that state. So if you're trying to do, a lot of really different styles and you want them to hold, you probably don't want to use this tip. But since I was mostly wearing big twists pinned up or something else pinned up, it didn't really make much of a difference to me because my ends weren't out and I wasn't really concerned about any style holding. So that's really it, and it's really, really super simple. It's nothing that hard. It's all about being consistent and applying these things consistently. And so hopefully that helps you guys. And if you have any more questions, you can follow me on Facebook, Natural Hair Growth 101. Feel free to post to my wall or message me, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Bye.